Hi, this is Stephen Mead, lifelong entrepreneur, business owner, and global speaker. Over the years, I've read hundreds of books and spent thousands of hours developing what I call the bullseye belief system. And I've used that system to develop my own companies, as well as help others learn to be specific, targeted, and focused to get exactly what they want in life. Again, I'm Stephen Mead, and this is the Bullseye Guy Podcast. Hey, everybody. Welcome again. Stephen Mead, the Bullseye Guy Podcast. We have Jeffrey Hayzlett on. And as you can probably tell, this is the midst of the corona crisis still, which means we're all working from home. I have my Moneta Pro site here, and then Jeffrey's got somebody behind him. We may talk about it in a little bit. I asked him who his friend was, and he joked. But I'll do a little intro on Jeff Hayzlett. It won't do justice. Amazing guy. First time I met Jeffrey was years ago at UCLA. He was speaking. He was CMO of a company called Kodak. And those of you that may not remember, if you're old enough, you remember the Kodak moment. Kodak was this amazing brand, but the world was changing. Digital was changing. And here's this big booming voice talking about how brands have to change. They have to evolve or they're going to die. And Kodak didn't listen to him. So it's amazing. He was CMO of this amazing company, was trying to get him to switch, didn't move over. He's gone on to create the C-Suite network. Great opportunity to talk to him. He's going to give us some tremendous insight. So with that, Mr. Jeffrey Hayzlett.
Hey, thanks so much for being there. This is where you're going to say you're going to put the quarter in. You get to go for the full ride, as they like to say. So I'm in South Dakota. If you can't tell from just the background, this is my Lakota, one of the Lakota pieces I have in my home office in my ranch in South Dakota. So let's just saddle up and ride, man. Let's get this going.
Let's go. So anybody that's watched the Bullseye Guy podcast, you know that I'm a lifelong entrepreneur. I'm all about tactical things, right? I say there's three types of speakers. There's inspirational, aspirational, and educational. And educational to me is tips, like how do you make things work? And that's what I was asking Jeffrey. I find it interesting as a professional athlete, former athlete, Jeff was too. I started thinking, when we come out of the corona crisis, are we still going to be in shape? And I didn't mean physical shape, right? I meant work shape, like mental work. If you're an athlete, if you're off for 3 weeks, it takes you 3 months to get back in shape, to get your breath back. Well, we've been sitting around at home now 3-4 weeks. The day we go back to work, are we going to be out of shape mentally? Are we going to be out of shape work-wise? And I think, Jeffrey, you were talking about you've got 3, 4, 5 tips, some things you're working on. Just kind of tell us what you've been up to now and give us some inspirational tips.
Well, I'm going to come out of this better than what I went into it with. I'll guarantee you that right now. One, because I've got no other alternative. Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I can't even frickin', sew a mask. So all I can be is be the first responder for business that I can be. And that is for my business and then for the businesses of all the people that we serve in the C-Suite network. But everybody's talking about they're sitting home and eating bonbons and watching Netflix and everything else. I haven't watched one thing. I'm actually lost weight through this process already. In the last 2 weeks, I'm trimming weight. And it's because I've never worked harder in my life. And if you're not working harder than you've ever worked in your life, then you're not giving it your all. Because right now, you need to get a regimen just like you would do in a physical side. You need to do that for your business right now and do what I say the 5 keeps. First of all, you just got to keep your head in the game. That's number one. That's the mode. I call it drive and thrive, because right now you need to be driving and thriving on your business. And if you're not, if you're sitting back, you wait. If you wait, you'll seal your fate. If you ponder, you'll squander. Now is not the time to pause. The time is to push, and to push very hard. So just like you're trying to get your physical health in shape, you want to do that with your mental health. You want to do that with business. You've got to move, and you got to move. So, and I'll cover this as we go, but it's really about continuity. You've got to be able to come out of this through continuity. You've got to have the business places in place, and you got to get the practices in place in the new norm, whatever the new norm is. Okay. But you got to be running your business, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you should be doing.
So that was number one. You want to go through all 5? Do you want to go
absolutely.
through them?
So first,
let's go through them and then circle back and talk about them.
Okay, got it. So I just want to make sure I'm doing it right for you. So number one is you want to keep your customers engaged. That's what you got to be doing. So you should be picking up the phone. Don't be sitting on your ass. Don't be sitting back. You should be picking up the phone, start doing huddles with your customers, getting together. Say, hey, what can I do to help you in any way, shape, or form? Get them engaged. You got to help them do what they need to do so that you can be, doing business, because you don't want to lay people off. You don't want to furlough people. You don't want to put them in harm's way. So what we have to do is we have to keep our customers engaged. Number one. Number two, we have to get our employees focused. Okay? Because look, they're all working from home. It's not like it used to be. Some of them don't even know how to set up an office facility in their home, right? So you should be doing these kinds of things to make it happen the way that you're going to do it. So I meet with my team every single day. Every single day I meet with my marketing team and my sales team, because those are the 2 most important for me right now. And so I'm focused with them on doing huddles, and I'm thinking, what are the 3 to 5 things you got to do today and this week? And so we focus. So we regular huddles. I'm also telling them, don't let me get you on the phone or get you on the video. I don't want to see you in your hoodie and the other stuff. I want you to go dress for business. You better be look at Stephen Mead. Look at that guy. He looks like $1 billion because he's $1 billion. He's worth $1 billion. That's what I want to do. Everything. There you go. You're working a Trump red tie. I can't believe that. That's amazing. But nonetheless,
it's first responder, Jeff. It's first responder, emergency management, but we're still good.
But you're right. That's exactly what we should be doing. And we gotta look at, we gotta not, you don't fake it. You want to make it. And so to make it, you got to do it. And so that's what we're going to do. Number 3 is I want to keep the cash flowing. So we can get really deep in that, but what you can do from forbearance in terms of laying stuff back away, whether it's your own personal expenses or your business expenses. But on your business side, who you're working with in terms of where your lease is, your bank, what are you doing to get the PPP done? Get that finished, get that in, call your banker every day, be the squeaky wheel until they release the money. You got to do these things because you need to get the cash. Call your American Express, call your credit card, Capital One, ask them to hold it off for 30 days. All those things, got to get that done, okay? That's the number 3. Number 4, I talked about keep continuity. What are you doing for your hours? What are you doing to make sure that you're checking in on a regular basis? What you normally did before, does it fit for you? Okay, if it fits differently, change it, but get it done. And number 5, you got to keep your head in the game. You got to keep spirit. You got to keep the mood up. And you got to do it for you and your team. Your team is scared, so you're going to need to be very, very transparent, and you're going to have good conversations with it, but you got to keep the spirit up, and you got to be that leader. You got to be, carrying the torch, carrying the flag, and you got to be right up front with everybody, and I'm getting comments from all over the world every day. I'm going live now every single day on LinkedIn, on Facebook, with thousands of people watching every single day. And I'm getting messages from people. I just answered about 6 or 7 a few minutes ago who are saying, thank you, Jeff. I was kind of down. You just kicked my butt in gear. This is awesome. Thank you. You got my head back on. That's what we have to do. And so we need to do that in the business. So I'm calling my team too. I'm like, they get in the morning and they're kind of like, oh my gosh, I just, walk down 5 minutes before the start, get moving. Get some caffeine, do whatever you got to do. Just go. Those are mine.
All right. So here's why I started it probably in the inverse order. Most people would say, oh, Jeffrey, tell us about yourself. And I wanted you to come out of the gate full barrel, just like you did. Like, this is you. This is how I know you, of just GSD, get shit done.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. I'm going to write that down. I didn't even, I do that all the time. Yeah. Let's get it done.
GSD. Yeah. Just get shit done. So now let's go back a little bit. I want you to take this time, introduce yourself, sort of a little bit of background. I know the Kodak is sort of a cool calling card, but you really transitioned through it quickly into C-Suite and Hero Network and really making a global difference now. So give us a little background and kind of catch us up on C-Suite and the Hero Network.
You bet. Well, I was at Kodak for 4 years. I left there about 10 years ago, well, almost 11, at least 11 years now. And, I used to be the chief marketing officer of Eastman Kodak, but I bought and sold over 250 businesses in my career, over 25 billion in transactions, and served in different capacities as either owned the businesses myself or as a corporate officer. I sat on numerous boards today, about 12 corporate boards today, and 3 of them are publicly traded. So spent a lot of time there doing that. And when I left Kodak, I went out and started my own television show and speaking. And I had a TV show on Bloomberg, primetime show called The C-Suite with Jeffrey Hayzlett on Bloomberg every Thursday night. It was a primetime show. We took that into #1 show, and I changed that around and saw that more people were watching me online. So I created C-Suite TV. And then today we've got 70 TV shows. We own C-Suite Radio. We have 170 podcast shows. We're the world's largest business podcast network, we're selling advertising, promoting our host. And then we have a community called the C-Suite Network. Think of it like a giant sequoia tree. And underneath this sequoia tree is this huge canopy in this lush environment that we have called the C-Suite Network. And so we have communities, meetings, and media that are all part of it, and along with services. I mean, we're about to launch C-Suite loans right now to help people through the bridges, the bridge between the PPP loans and everything else to be able to provide capital. We have C-Suite Book Club, C-Suite Radio, C-Suite News, C-Suite, you name it, C-Suite, we own it.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a minute, because it's membership driven. And I'm fortunate. I've been a member for years. The events that you put on are rock star. The support, the community. But talk about it for somebody who may be not only looking to join moving forward, but even in this time frame now where you may be sequestered or isolated, the community you've built is really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting together every single day. We have weekly huddles with members. In fact, right now, going on while we're recording this, there are hundreds and hundreds of CEOs and founders that are part of it. How do you market, in today's world when everybody's trying to keep you apart? Okay. So how do you bring and build a community through marketing and bring customers together when everybody's apart? So we're doing programs like that every single day, and it's easy. Look, we have a range of membership that people belong. It's basically like an executive pass. It's $99 a month. $99 is all we ask people to join. And you can quit at any given time, but it's this community, for half the price of one business meal, okay, in essence. Because if you went out, we went out, although you and I tend to go to very modest places. We usually go to my Irish pub where everything on the menu is $6
burgers in New York. I love it.
Yeah, I know it. And $6 whiskey, $6 wine. Yeah. And you're not a drinker, but I do drink the whiskey, and I do enjoy a good Irish whiskey. But everything's $6. But for the price of $99 a month, we're asking people, you can participate. It's full everything. And then if you want to stair step up, if you want a podcast, you can get it. You want a TV show, you can get it. You want a book, you want an audio book, you want to join a group of CEOs, you want to join a group of manufacturers. We have all of these communities that you can go and join to add and be a part of it. Yeah,
and it's interesting to me, Jeff, because price aside, $99, like you said, you're doing a great sales job of justifying it against, the cost of lunch or dinner or something. The value that I've received out of it, not only the networking, the business side, I don't want to call it freebies because that's not fair, but the discounts, like the one I'm at in New York, I walk out with $200 worth of books and the authors are there. I walked out with, a health program.
I remember the first time you came to one of our conferences as a member. We held it at the New York Times building. There we were. I remember you went outside into Times Square and bought a bag just to get the books. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. So the value of that and the people, it's really fascinating. And then the people that are there, because it is a community, there's technology, and I don't use it because I've got my own virtual assistant, but you've got a virtual assistant program and a call. Like you really tag all these resources together for people.
Well, and use what's valuable for you. Again, this is an ecosystem, and in the ecosystem, what we do is we vet everybody to come in. So what you like about it is that you feel like you've known these people for years because we vetted everybody.
Yeah.
And that's very critical, because now as opposed to LinkedIn, opposed to other places that you might go for to connect to people, at least now you know we've done our homework, and the person that's in the room, now maybe you might not even like them, but you at least know they paid their dues to get in, and they're, it's like a country club, meaning, at least they paid their dues. So they're worthy of it being in the room. And that's really what we try to do, is really put great people together in the room. And now we're doing it digitally, and we're actually finding, again, through all of this change, all this new normal, we're finding this actually is working better. And so that's why I said we're going to come out better. The C-Suite Network is going to come out stronger, because we're going to help people. We're going to assist people. We're going to make these things happen in such a big way. And we're going to do it digitally. We're going to do it face to face when we can bring it back together. We're going to do it, physically touch. Right now I'm in South Dakota. You're in Beverly Hills. You live in a populated area. I live in South Dakota, and New York. But now I'm back on my ranch. We've been practicing physical distancing since 1889. So this is no big deal.
Nothing new. Nothing new. Let's talk about one of the other resources you have. And again, it's one that I'm remiss on. I'm going through the process. It's just the time. But Swedish Eagle, you may not know Eagle. Eagle's on. He's great. He's famous DJ. The podcast that we normally do is in this beautiful studio in downtown LA. But they've got great DJs and podcasts. But you've created a podcast, not only a network, but some resources for podcasters that's really unique for somebody to just plug in and not only have resources, but also potentially monetize. And talk about that for a minute, because I think it's a cool program that you have.
Well, we started about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. I was a mainstream podcaster for CBS. CBS got into the podcast game very early, and they had someone from the health side, I think was Jennifer Beal. They had someone from the pop, which was Carson Daly, someone from sports, Boomer Esiason, and then I was the business anchor, anchoring the four legs of their podcast network. They decided to get out of that business and only keep the pop. That's all they wanted to do, and the sports. And they took the rest of it. So I went to, at that time, only about 30 shows and said, hey, who would like to come with me? I'm going to start C-Suite Radio. And we're going to take this podcast network. Now, here we are, 170 plus shows, adding more shows, and we're a platform. So anyone that wants to amplify their message, any business or individual that wants to create their own category around their own IP and being able to put it forth as a podcast, we host it. And so now you can have your show on C-Suite Radio, and then we give you the analytics so you can go behind the scenes, see who's listening to you, how they do it. We give you the amplification because we go out and promote it. Third, we make sure that you get the affiliation. So now you're saying you're part of C-Suite Radio Network. Awesome. Just like you were CBS, just like NBC, or just like anybody else. And fourth, we go out and sell the advertising. And we split
the monetization.
that.
Yeah.
We split it. And that's what we do. And for a normal person who's out there against millions now of podcasts, it's tough. It's very tough. So you really have to have some kind of affiliation or network to be a part of in order to build it. And together, aggregation, we can sell, because a typical podcast today sells about $4, maybe up to $7 per 1,000 of listener. Well, we're getting somewhere in the neighborhood of $50, because one, we have a very affluent audience because they're business leaders, like the people listening to this show. And we're able to aggregate that in a much bigger community and have millions of people who are listening every single day. So it's awesome. Just fabulous.
And so we're going to transition a little segue that you opened the door for, because when you talked about business leaders, again, I'm probably like you. Actually, I'm probably different than you in one respect. I'm a member of a bunch of different communities because you're running your own and doing an amazing job. But I've got Davos and Ted and CG Clinton Global isn't there milking. Yours, the C-Suite Network, is really unique. It's not only for small businesses and entrepreneurs and tool sets, but I mean, I've been fortunate. I was in, Keith Kroc, the guy that created Ariba and DocuSign. This is a private event at his house with amazing people. And then you'll do and again, I'm not a fishing guy, so I skipped it, but you'll do a fishing trip in South Dakota. So talk about the community aspect real quick, along with the range of people, and then I'll transition to Hero Network, which I'm interested in.
We'll actually take you fishing in Yellowstone, up in Jackson Hole because there's no real good, no fly fishing. So we go fly fishing there, but we'll take you pheasant hunting in South Dakota or Georgia.
Okay.
We'll go for quail. Yeah, we do events. And what we try to do is we do things to get people together because we know that experiential is a really cool thing. Like in April, we were going to be doing the Battleship Forum in Norfolk, Virginia, on the USS Wisconsin. We were going to have 150, 200 CEOs gathering. I had 2 rear admirals. I had the commander of the worst ship in the Navy who took over the USS Benfold and turned it around in a year, made it the best ship in the Navy with the same crew. How's that happen? I had the first female fighter pilot to ever land an F-14 on a Tomcat. I had Navy SEALs. I had Captain McGrath, who talks about, I got your back leadership from the Army, and I had to balance those guys out. And so then we were going to go into an air tunnel. You were going to learn how to skydive in an air tunnel where you turn your hand, you could hit the ceiling or hit the floor, depending on how, those little adjustments, just like in our business. Well, all that goes away, but we still have those events. And now we're putting it digitally. So we're doing that digitally the week of the 20th to the 24th. And what we were charging $5,000, we're making for free. Because right now we're going to try to help people. We got to go to war against this stuff, folks. Listen to me. We're in a war right now. We're in a war mentality, and you got to get your business up and running, and we got to get the supply chain moving. We got all the things that are going just like in war. And so I brought these admirals together, 2 rear admirals, the commander, the lieutenant, the captain, the major. I got them all coming to talk about what it's like to bring leadership. So that's the kind of things we do. And even if you go fishing, you go hunting, like fly fishing, it's precise. And you got to have patience. You got to have patience. You got to use the right kinds of bait, or with a shotgun. And we might even take you out shooting. The camaraderie, the gathering, the networking that occurs is so important for each and every one of us, not just mentally and physically as friends, but also for business.
Yeah, it's amazing. I just picked something up from you. I mean, I pick up a lot of things. I'm taking notes. Anybody sees me looking down, it's because if you're not taking notes, you're missing out. But I like the analogy. I'm going to do something off of this one, and I bet you will too. The wind tunnel. I've been in an actual, this is like everything's coming at you 180 miles an hour, and just the slightest adjustments with your hands, those guys shoot straight up. They come down. Just micro adjustments when the wind's 100 miles an hour. That's what you provide people that I think is really cool.
Well, and the facility to do it, right? Because you got to have a playground. So let's go find
camaraderie, instructors, the tunnel, like everything is you. It's all right there.
It's right there. And that's, and you mentioned your part, because I know you go to Davos, you're in Malta, I can't keep track of where the heck you're at half the time, but you have to be part of not just one community, but lots of communities. And you'll find that, but this one leads to this one, which leads to this one, which leads to this one. But one of the things I found is they all lead to the C-suite. And so the C-suite network has been just really great for people because we see offshoots of this and offshoots of this. It's just fabulous.
It's amazing. And then with Hero Club, do you want to talk about that and sort of how that fits in? I mean, we've got 5, 6, 7 minutes. It's a cool story, and it integrates in a little bit.
Well, we were tapped a couple of years ago. So inside the C-suite network, so imagine that what we're doing is in this giant sequoia tree, and under this giant sequoia tree, we have all these other trees growing and all these other redwoods, and each one of theirs, their own community, their own ecosystems for different types of groups. So we have what we call peer-to-peer councils. Now, many people might call them masterminds. And so a little bit different than just the masterminds, we like to call them councils because it's a business. It's around, not just personal breakthroughs, but more so about the business and and how to run it. So we've got manufacturers, we got women leaders, we've got, either by role, by sex, by size, by industry, all those. But the Hero Club is our value-based group. A guy by the name of Rob Ryan sold his business a number of years ago for $20.4 billion. And when he sold it, $20.4 billion. Wow. Whoa. When he sold it, he set aside a percentage of his company for all of his employees, making the single largest number of millionaires ever created in one day. And as a result of that, what happened was all the employees would run up to him and say, Mr. Ryan, you don't know me, but you send my kids to college now, and you're my hero. Or I'm the night watchman and I can help pay for this operation for my mother-in-law. She's going to live. She has cancer. She had no health insurance. I can pay for it. She's going to live. You're my hero. And he didn't feel like a hero, nor did his wife, Terry, who was the chief legal officer. They just thought they were doing the right thing because they were based in values. And they felt that, hey, you helped me get there. They wanted to take care of the people they worked with. They wanted to take care of their customers. They wanted to take care of the environment, the community, and do the right thing. And so they started a group called the Hero Club. And they grew that into a number of members. And then what we did was we helped them grow it into hundreds of members. And that's the Hero Club. So if you're a CEO, a founder of a company, you're welcome to sign the pledge and become a member of the Hero Club.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. So how do people get a hold of you? We'll still build it in, but just at this point now with you and C-Suite and everything else.
Well, there's my name right there. You can find all my hashtags right there. All my names for social media at Jeffrey Hayzlett. You can email me at jeff@c-suite, S-U-I-T-E, network.com. That's my email. You can get a hold of me. You reach out to me, social. I'll make sure that we take care of you.
Perfect. So we're not done yet. I just wanted to drop that in at the end. So let's go back to the tips and the sequence, right? So now we know your 5 tips. We have a flavor for you and C-Suite. What would you tell somebody moving forward the next, not even 2 weeks, next 3 weeks, 30 days? How do you stay focused? What should somebody really look at doing? Obviously, joining C-Suite, I think, would be a big part of it to get in that community. But with what you're doing, you've got your 5 tips. What would you do the next 30 days?
So write those down and figure out those 5 keeps, what you got to do in the next 30 to 60 days. And then look at it, those 5 single tips every day and say, what am I going to do? What am I going to focus on that's going to get me towards those overall goals to move me? Folks, right now, you don't worry about whether you're going to survive or this or big or where you're going to be. Just focus on the next 30 to 60 days. That's what you got to do. Get your head in the game around that. Focus on the next 30 to 60 days around those 5 points on the things that you've got to do to get through that 60-day period. If you can do that, I'll guarantee you'll be around, you'll be here, and your business will be stronger than what it is right this very minute, and you'll be positioned for the restart, because we got to get ready for that restart, because it's going to open up. When this thing lets loose, we get to go outdoors for the first time. We're going to want to run to our cars, drive somewhere, go somewhere. You got to be ready for it, and your business is going to be the same way.
Yeah, and then for you, with C-Suite, you've got the network, you've got TV, you've got podcasts. What does a 30, 60, 90-day sprint look like for you that's a win? And especially what's it look like for people that could help you? What's a 30, 60, 90-day sprint look like when the doors open up?
That's a beautiful question. The more people that we can have come and be a part of the network, the better, because more connections, more business, more energy, everything comes together, which is fabulous. We're going to move forward. I'm going to buy an audiobook company. I'm going to buy a podcast production company. I'm starting C-Suite loans right now. I'm going to do that. I'm going to continue to do all the things I can to help people add zeros to the numbers that they have in terms of business. That's what I want people to do. I'm on a mission to get it done, because if you make a lot of money, I'll make a little bit too. And I like that.
And I have full confidence, Jeffrey. I've watched you do it through the years, and excited to not only fortunate to have been a part of it, but to watch you grow into this ownership side of your own. It's fine when you're building it for somebody else, but you're building this for you and everybody around you. And I'm excited for you with that. So thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it. Stay safe in South Dakota.
All right.
Again, Stephen, anything in closing? Jeff Hayzlett?
I'm good. Just get out there. Make it happen. Get out there and get off the couch and get back to work.
Get out and do it. All right. Again, Stephen Mead, the Bullseye Guy podcast. Appreciate all of you tuning in. We'll have another great episode next week. Share this with your friends. Share Jeffrey's tips. Join the C-Suite. It'll change your life. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Stay safe. Again, Stephen Mead.